Welcome to a new year, new season, and new episode of the Reading Room Ruffians, your favorite library podcast. On this thrice new day, we are discussing our group deep dive for the year, The City We Became by N.K. Jemison. We are recording from our library in Jackson County, West Virginia. Zach is joining us as usual from Seattle, Washington.
Hello, hello.
That was so professional.
That was the best one yet.
It was. It was like really professional.
Short and sweet. We love it.
Yeah. All right. Well, Carla, do you want to read the synopsis?
I can try.
We're going to try to have this one
Sometimes reading out loud is like...
not that fun.
I suck at it.
It's not much of a synopsis, guys.
What, on Goodreads?
No, I mean, it's whatever.
No,
No,
Goodreads, I
on
have
the book.
I have the book.
I know, but on Good, are you getting the synopsis from Goodreads? I suppose.
No, the
No.
book.
I was reading
Oh, the book itself.
See?
Okay.
Yes.
see?
Not really a synopsis. Probably.
Well, do you want me to read it or do you want to go to Goodreads and get one?
I think we should go Goodreads. I have a thing.
Okay.
Then
Oh my lord.
I'm getting
have
it.
at it.
Let me see here. The City We Became. Oh no, the description is probably the same, honestly.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Weird.
Well, no, usually they're different. It says every city has a soul. Some are as ancient as myths, and others are as new as and destructive as children. New York City, she's got 5. But every city also has a dark side. A roiling ancient evil stirs beneath the earth, threatening to destroy the city and her 5 protectors until they can come together and stop it once and for all. I mean, this is just straight up lies, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
I haven't finished the book. I have no idea.
How much of the book did you get into? You know, at least there's more than
Halfway.
5 people.
And there's 6 people.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe that was supposed to be a surprise.
Yeah.
Even though it happens
feels
right near the
like
beginning.
it's,
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
yeah.
It's like the beginning of the
beginning.
book. Yeah.
It's literally the first person you meet.
I know.
I don't get it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the whole idea here, I guess, is the fact that there is if a city gets big enough and old enough, has enough people in it, effectively it can come to life. And then there's this evil thing that is trying to kill the city in the book. And that's the basic idea of the book. But there's 5 different people who are basically city avatars. One for each
They're
of the different
boroughs.
boroughs. You got like Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, and what's the last one? Manhattan.
Manhattan.
And then you've got, in this case, one more who is New York as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Most cities apparently don't have this. They've usually just got one person. Other ones have had like more than one, but usually they've just got one person who is like their overall avatar. But in
I
this
think
case, we
that's
got
probably-
5 different boroughs plus the 6th one, which is all of New York. And it's about, this book is mostly about them coming together and trying to like stop the bad guy, weird tentacle person from coming and destroying the city. Basically.
I think there was 5 boroughs because the people in each borough were so different.
Yeah, because each
Like
of the
a
different
different
boroughs in
type-
New York are very different.
A person, yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
that's the idea. This seems like something that is written in such a way that I guess I just should have looked this up, but I'm not sure if N.K. Jemison is from New York or something like that. She feels like she spent a bunch of time there because she's got like this really, I guess, deep knowledge of the city.
I was going to
So-
say, every movie or TV show or whatever I've seen taking place in New York, they're all very like, oh no, I'm from the Bronx, or
Yeah.
oh no, I'm from this place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So like,
very separate.
they are very like, separated.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of like here. It's like, it's Jackson County.
Mm-hmm.
There's Ripley and there's Ravenswood, which are vastly different
Yeah.
attitudes or
Mindsets.
mindsets. That's a better word, mindsets.
And then we'd also have like the country bumpkins.
Touch
City
me.
versus town.
Yeah.
As Kim says, we Cottageville girls.
Hoodlums. Cottageville is hoodlums.
Yeah.
I fit in so well.
All right, so what'd you guys think of the book overall?
I really liked it.
It was not my vibe, which is why I've only gotten halfway through.
I liked it.
I think I wasn't expecting it to not be your vibe.
I think what really threw me off was the freaking tentacle things because it reminded me too much of worms. And every time they would bring them up, I would literally get chill bumps all over my body. Because I can't I cannot handle worms.
Honestly, that's fair because it turned up as different things for all of them, which I thought was really weird.
Oh, it grossed me out
and
so much.
So I'm just wondering if that's what it would have ended up being for you.
Oh, probably.
Did it though?
I would have died. I would have died.
Yeah, because one of them thought
like
it was
feathers.
palm fronds. One said it looked like feathers. One
Okay.
said it looked like tentacles, and another one said it looked like not really like tentacles, but something similar. Sea anemones was another one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. See, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if they were
All
actually
too
looking
worm-like.
different or if
See-
the people were just saying that it was different. But
I
I think
was
you're right. I think it
thinking-
does actually show up for
Yeah.
different people. Yeah, Manhattan
I
was the
thought it
one who
was sort
thought
of
it was
like a-
worms, right?
Tentacles.
No, I
thought
think it was tentacles for
Or
him and
tentacles,
actually New
yeah.
York also, like just New York in general. I think both of them saw tentacles.
That makes some sense. They were
like
like
it.
the two most closely tied together ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's what kind of like threw me off this book. And I was like, no.
The fact that it was like
Yeah.
weird tentacles threw you off the book enough that you didn't read it.
And the fact that they would come out of people.
Yeah.
That was a creepy part.
Yeah.
That was creepy.
That really. Ugh.
Of all the
Hey,
things,
look at us,
you read all these
waving
horror
at your
books
neck
and then
bumps on my arms.
little
I can't
white
handle
wormies
it.
freak out enough you don't want to read a book.
I have
White
physical
wormies.
reactions. I am literally having chill bumps on my arms right now. Us just talking
Well,
about
I
this.
She
mean-
really is.
horror.
We'll be talking about it for a while, in theory.
We can
It's-
talk about the book. Not
We
the worms.
found her ick.
Oh my god, I
Apparently
can't.
it's pretty bad, yeah.
The horror.
I can't deal with them. I really, truly can't.
That's funny.
I'm pretty sure that's how you could take me out. It's my fear factor.
Your fear. Yep.
Oh, I had one come up out of the ground and touch my thigh once. And I freaked out.
Mm.
What, a worm?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I sent Mallory a video about it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
Let's
Sure
freak it
do
out.
now.
Mhm.
Oh man.
That was traumatic. I could deal with a lot of things, but not worms.
Not worms.
Like, and this is coming right off of me reading the Kaiju Surgeon Battlefield, where at one point
Kaiju
in that book
Battlefield
there's a
Surgeon.
whole bunch of heartworms. Yeah, that part was rough for me.
And that's what made me like, what do you mean whenever Zach said that there was a pet tapeworm and you were
But
like,
he-
I'm in. I
But
was like,
Yeah.
he was cute though.
no.
Because he made me think of the Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
So that's just how I
Yeah, he's got
envisioned
that
it.
vibe. He's
And that's like, so like he wasn't the same thing. It
Mm-mm,
wasn't the same.
mm-mm. Oh, I can't.
you're just goofy, but Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon was way grosser.
I don't.
Anyway.
It's just the heartworms that freaked me out in that one. I can deal with gore. I can deal with dismemberment, cannibalism.
But it's the
Can't do-
worms. The
I
little
can't
wormies.
do worms.
Worms are the hard
It's
pass.
just kind of funny. I don't know.
It is. It is funny.
It is what it is. Can't handle it, man.
Whatever works for you, I guess.
It's thrown me off this whole book.
Kind of goofy. Anyway, so I like this this book a lot. I thought that
Mhm.
N.K. Jemison is like a fantastic writer just in general. I read 1.5 of her other books. I haven't finished it. I don't know why I didn't finish like the second book in this trilogy I was reading, but she wrote the Broken Earth trilogy as well, which starts with the 5th season, and her world building in that one is just amazing, and the characters are all really great. But yeah, she's just an excellent writer in general. And I think in this
I agree.
one,
This book
the
was
main
well
like
wrote.
standout
Oh, yeah.
thing was how each of the characters felt very different the whole time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I thought they really embodied their boroughs too.
I really
I mean-
liked, maybe it was, no, it wasn't Brooklyn.
Bronx.
I think it was Bronx.
Oh yeah.
The older
Mm-hmm.
lady, I
Yeah.
liked her.
Yeah.
Because she was like, I got this.
She tickled me on that when she
I
was
stomped
sleeping.
a cop.
When she was sleeping in her office, and she woke up and her hip was. I'm like, I can so identify.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
really liked the age differences between them all, and I thought that she did really well highlighting, but also making them believable, like all the
Yeah.
age, and not even that. Also, Manny, how he wasn't necessarily a New Yorker yet, but he
Mhm.
was already there. Essentially, like he had the background to make him Manhattan. I thought that was pretty fun. I liked it.
Yeah, so Manny was the one. He gets, for those of you guys who didn't read the book, and I guess Ariel. Well, she probably knows this part.
I was
Manny.
going to say, Mama didn't finish it either.
Hush.
What?
I
What?
was gonna fake
Neither
my
of you
way
finished
through
it?
this. I tried
Oh my
because
God.
I tried.
Call her out.
I kept falling. I was tired. It's been kind of like
She
crazy.
napped all day
I
on
did.
Christmas.
It's been
Instead of
crazy with
doing her
Mom,
job,
so
I see how it is.
I tried, but I will finish it because I'm almost done.
See, they're both legitimate reasons. You were exhausted. I was disgusted.
I was exhausted.
I finished it, but I was up kind of late last night doing it because this book is long. It's like pretty long.
It is long, and I was afraid I would miss stuff if I skimmed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you probably would have.
Yeah, you would.
So, but you don't know what happens at the very end, which is
I
kind
know,
of a big
but I-
deal.
yeah.
Well, you can tell me. I don't care.
I was going to say,
I'll
I
finish
don't
it
care.
anyway.
I
It
don't
was
know
really
that I'm
good.
going to finish it, so.
Well, I was talking more about Mama here.
We can do that in the second half.
Yeah.
Part 2. All right, so
Spoilers.
yeah, let me see here. I pulled up like a synopsis. Oh, but yeah, Manny, he's the avatar of Manhattan. He picks the name Manny just because it comes to him, sort of, when somebody asks his name. And effectively, he has lost all of his memory, but they're thinking that at some point beforehand, he had some sort of like a rough job, or he just did like weird beat people up type stuff.
Shady things.
Yeah. Because he clearly has those instincts, but he doesn't
Yeah.
know what happened. And he doesn't want to know who he was beforehand.
Yeah.
He doesn't even want to look at his ID just to see what his name was, because he's fully on board with Manny as his new identity entirely.
Yeah.
I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, and like maybe he was special forces, but it doesn't seem like it.
I think
No,
he was just
he's
a
really-
jerk.
He's really accepted it because like they talk at one point, he remembers a little bit,
Yeah.
like as it goes on, and he kind of just accepts the fact. He's like, I think I was doing dirty work for somebody, but I don't think I liked it, and I think I was coming here to start over and get away from who I was.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's just kind of how he felt about it. So I
Yeah.
think really, yeah.
I think when he talked to his roommate, when like at first he was like, "You're kind of different," and then
Yeah.
after the whole thing in the park, he's like, "Oh, there you are,"
Yeah.
and that kind of was like, "Oh, you was a jerk. You
Yeah.
was not a nice guy."
Yeah, I feel like he was like an enforcer or something for somebody, you know?
Thug.
Did he feel like he was from not the US? I got the
Maybe
vibe
he
that
was
he
with the
wasn't, right? Because of
cartel.
his roommate had an accent. So, but then he
I
doesn't,
thought he
so I don't know.
was.
I don't remember if it said where he was from or like where he thought he was from.
Yeah, well, I was
I-
thinking it was like London or something, but then it seems like
no, his roommate was like
No, his roommate was
Was-
from London
yeah.
or something like that, around in there.
South London.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Which
it's
also had
I guess
boroughs.
his roommate was saying that they had like stuff in common, so I was thinking maybe they were from the same place, but it really doesn't seem like that.
I thought
Uh,
he was from the Midwest.
The Midwest.
It kind of seemed like it.
I don't know why, but
I either
did.
thought that or like, I don't know, somewhere close But not close, like Pennsylvania or something, like random like that.
Maybe.
Somewhere that's not like...
Don't know.
Yeah.
Well, whatever he was very, very wealthy, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Dude had bukus of money.
Yeah.
He should have thrown down his debit card, probably could have cleared out that entire park.
No, because didn't he, though?
No, he threw
No.
down his credit
No.
card.
His credit card.
Oh.
He
I
still
thought
had
he threw
his
down
debit
all
card.
of his cards.
No,
No.
Okay.
He held on to it because he was afraid there would be nothing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I thought he just threw all of his cards down, his and his roommates.
No, he did. He threw down some money and stuff, and then the credit card, and that made a bigger dent in all the little white wormies. But
Yeah. Oh, okay. So the taxi cab and the umbrella.
I thought that was hilarious.
Oh my gosh. That was absolutely hilarious.
I'm trying
also
to show off my chill bumps.
and also like the taxi driver just went along with it.
Yeah,
She's like, yeah, this is stupid, but okay.
his roommate did too. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just like, whatever.
Did they say in the book why some people
nope.
saw these things and why
Aside
some
from
It was-
didn't?
they're like more closely attuned to the city,
Yeah.
basically.
It was kind of just, it wasn't really a known fact. It was just like those people are more likely to want to protect the city or like more deeply invested or
Mhm.
have like deeper roots with the city, which, I mean, yeah, I kind of get that. I think that's a good theory to have.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. That's sort of how they explained it. All right, so we've got the 5 boroughs, and we've got the main New York. And New York is like, he's this young guy who is, I guess he's homeless. He seemed like he was
Yeah.
I was
homeless.
going to say he struck me
Homeless.
as homeless.
Or an unhoused person, I think is the
Mhm.
technical term now. But anyway, he is like an artist, right? And he does lots of graffitis type stuff, but it's very, very detailed. And
Mhm.
it's good enough that a lot of his art ends up in photos of a lot of his art ends up in is it Brooklyn's?
Bronx.
It's the
Bronx,
Bronx's museum. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Gallery.
and well, museum gallery, same difference, whatever.
Mm.
Anyway, you got the 5 boroughs. You got the Bronx, which is Bronca. She's the old lady, basically. She works at this art gallery, and I guess she curates it mostly, is what she does. And she's also an
I
artist
like
too.
her.
She's Native American too.
She is Native
Yeah.
American,
Yeah.
which I don't know why every single time I thought about her, I did not think of her as Native American until she like brought stuff up, and I don't know why that kept happening, but
Okay. When I think of her, I always think Indian. Like from
like
India.
from India. Well, there is one Indian
Well,
lady.
I know.
Yeah.
That's Queens,
Padmini.
right?
Yeah.
Queens,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't know why I would think that Bronx was Indian, but that's every time she talked, that's what I thought. That's what I saw her as.
Until I had trouble like putting it together until she danced. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
dancing, it was like, oh yeah.
I think I think it was. So the reader had gave her an accent, right?
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
I
a
didn't. I
Bronx
read it. I'm
accent,
actually
so-
reading the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which makes sense. And it's just like it was so difficult for me to jive like, Bronx accent with
Mhm.
Native American because
Yeah.
in media they're always presented either as like with I guess just like the basic ass bland nothing accent, or as in like that wise old Native American person, like the like stereotypical one.
Yeah.
I have watched this video. It's on natives, talking about natives.
Mm-hmm.
And they're on, I can't remember what reservation they're on, but they're just talking around, and then some white person will come up to us and say, "Are you native?" And they're like, "Why, yes, I am native." And it's like totally changes the way they
Yeah.
talk, the way they
Yeah.
hold themselves. It's like so funny to see them do that.
Yeah.
They were laughing about it.
Yeah, because
But
that's what we
you-
expect because we're
Yeah.
uncultured. But I think that kept throwing me. Anyway, so that's the Bronx. The next one is Her name is Brooklyn, and she's
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Her name is actually
Brooklyn
Brooklyn,
Thomason.
yes.
And she used to be, I guess, a rapper who went by the name MC. What was it? MC something.
I can't
Was it
remember.
MC Free?
I may have.
No.
No, it's not right.
MC.
I'll look as you guys.
Yeah.
It's not MC Hammer.
No.
Anyway, now she owns
my
2 brownstones. And she picked that stuff up for $60K, or her dad did back in
No,
the day,
her dad
which is
did.
dang.
Mm-hmm.
Man, got lucky there. But anyway,
Yeah.
she
This
is like
is
a
when you
city
should have been buying
council member
houses.
now. And does a bunch of stuff with that. So she's like fairly high up. She does well for herself. Next,
She has a kid too.
and she has a kid and her dad.
Yeah.
And her husband died
I
of
think-
cancer,
she's
apparently,
like-
which is upsetting. But
Mm-hmm.
She's the only one that has children too, right?
I think so. I think she's the only one with
has
like
kids,
actual
but they're
children.
like
yeah,
older.
They're like out of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bronca has like a pseudo-adopted child thing.
And an actual son, because she's
Oh, that's
like,
right, she
her
does
son
have
is
a
in
son.
California or something.
Yeah, he lives in California. So
She was married at one time.
Yeah.
I thought she was married a few times.
Well, at least once. I
Maybe.
don't know.
who? Bronca? I think she was only married
Mhm.
once. And she swore off
Then
men,
why did the
basically.
lady say that she could keep her exes around, as in plural?
Oh, maybe I don't remember that part.
Just what I mean. Maybe you don't need to
Um,
be married to have an ex.
the next
you
one
could
is-
have an ex-boyfriend
Yeah.
or an ex-girlfriend.
I mean, I
or-
get that, but I the way they said it, it sounded like ex-husbands or ex-wives or
I'm not seeing the name.
whatever.
The next one is Queens, who is Padmini Prakash, and she is, I think she's a grad student
Mhm.
and getting her, I think she was getting her master's. She might have been getting her PhD. Anyway, it's in something related to mathematics, and it's in finance because that's what she
I was
has
gonna
to
say
do
with financing.
in order to
Yeah,
like
she's
stay
a
there. But
genius
she's
too.
Yes.
mathematician, and actually her power thing, we'll talk about it a little bit later. I wish she would have used it more, but she didn't very much.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer. And then
Yeah.
the last one is Staten Island, who is
Ugh.
Islan, is how they pronounce
Aslan.
it
I
in the
think it wa-
book.
Islan?
Islan Houlihan.
Oh, yeah.
Islan,
Okay,
yeah.
I was pronouncing it Aslan.
Yeah.
Well, it's got an A in it. I didn't know it was spelled this way, but yeah.
Mallory did not like her.
It's Islan. So they all get names that are like what they are. So Island, Islan.
Yeah.
Anyway, and basically Staten Island, I didn't know it had this reputation, but it's like very,
I didn't either.
very right leaning, and it's very xenophobic. So
I
she
knew that they
definitely
were very
embodied that.
like, we are us, you guys stay. But like, I didn't realize that it was like that at all. Like, I just kind of figured it was more like the snooty. And
yeah,
that
I thought it was more
Yeah.
snooty instead of like xenophobic. I mean, it's just right there. I mean, there's like a border around it, right?
Yeah.
But of water. But that's literally, it's like, if you didn't tell me this was a separate place, I would not even remotely know. So
They hate that, I'm sure.
they probably would. Anyway, though. So yeah. No, I've never been to New York.
You know, it almost made me want to. This book almost made me want to go, and I've never wanted to go to New York because I just.
Oh, I want to go.
It's
I think it's just.
I wanna
there's
go. Looks
Too
like it should be
much
fun.
like. It's too fast for
Yeah.
not knowing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it's like I would have trouble with it.
No,
I
I
wanna
usually
go
get
there
yelled
and
at a lot.
eat.
It's all good.
I get that, honestly. Like, I've been twice. I went for a school trip with choir, and then I went for my 21st birthday. And both of the times, it was like just a very fast trip. I would like to go and actually just like stroll around because it was,
Go get a hot dog from a cart.
well, I've done that. But
That's the whole thing I want to do in
It's-
New York.
it was
that's it.
yeah. It was a completely different feeling because it was like there were so many people. It was overwhelming, but it's also like nobody cares that I'm here. Like,
Mhm.
it was a nice freeing feeling. Like, you're in all this chaos, but you are allowed to just be yourself. Like, nobody is looking at you. Nobody is like waiting for you to move to do something like bad or,
Mhm.
whatever, like mess up. It's just like, yeah, I'm here. So what? It was nice.
Well, this one almost made me want to go.
Yeah.
Not quite, but almost. Did anyone have, I guess pause is a good word, about how the bad guys were portrayed?
What do you mean?
Well, how often, I think it's because we don't often see, or I haven't often seen in books, um, I guess the division between different groups of people to the extent that, and I know white people can be complete. So you can bleep me out on that one. But it was like, gosh, like the perspective from the other side was like, wow. We're not all that horrible.
I didn't think that was surprising at all.
No, I didn't. We're not all like that.
It's not, like,
but
surprising.
It's definitely there.
It's
becoming
the thing
way
I said
more
last
prevalent.
night. It's not all men, but it's always a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not all white people, but it's usually a white
Definitely,
person.
yeah.
It just felt weird for me to, I guess, because I don't see myself like that. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm a complete,
No,
but
I mean you're
to
not
see it
like
as
okay.
the
So
bad
the
guy
one
all the
you're talking
time.
about when the lady in white like possessed people or whatever and sort of made them worse or maybe not possessed in that case, but like for example
I
when
don't
she
know,
was
it
like
kinda was.
first met Manny, right?
Influence
Uh-huh.
them.
And she was embodying the Karen basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 I thought it brought out the really bad.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that's
and
what she says
and
in the book at some
she
point.
said she does. Yeah.
And Island's dad was a complete.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
most
and
people
he
aren't like
wasn't
that, but there are
possessed.
people
No.
definitely
He
like
was just
that.
like
and
that.
she was, oh my God, that was the reason I couldn't stand Staten Island so much. She literally, I'm so sorry, but as a grown adult, you cannot hear somebody say, oh, I'm going to take you out. It doesn't really matter, but you're my friend. I don't want to do it. I'm still going to kill you and everything that you love and be like, it's fine. She's fine.
Yeah.
It's not, she doesn't really mean it.
It's
No.
very leopards ate my face.
No.
You know, you guys are
I
familiar with
screamed
that.
at my phone
Uh-huh.
every single time she went through that in her brain. And she did it multiple times. Like straight up walked herself right into being more and more stupid. And it made me so mad. So mad.
I think that kind of came from her dad too, right? 'Cause
Oh,
her
it
dad
did
was,
for
like,
sure.
Awful.
And her mom.
Well, see, I didn't get that far. I didn't meet her mom. But
No, her mom.
I don't think
sounded
her
actually
mom
kinda
wasn't
great.
really like that.
No,
Her-
but she
she was
suppressed. She was the typical
Yes.
housewife of the time, where she suppressed all her
Mhm.
Yeah,
intelligence and her beauty, just so that he would feel better about himself.
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
I think
and
it's
that
like
was passed
where
on to her daughter.
me and Mallory have such strong personalities. It's hard for us to like be like, why would you put up with that? Why would you tolerate that?
Oh, I don't think it's right, but I
Yeah.
understand.
But like, I know that there
Yes.
are people out
Yeah.
there that do. Like,
She definitely did not have an environment. Like she really stood up for herself, but it was in the wrong way. Like she
Yeah.
wasn't really standing up for herself, even though she thought she was. So it's one of those things. It shows you how thinking like that and growing up like that can go extremely wrong if
Yeah.
you don't pay attention.
See, I think that's. I mean, I liked all the other characters,
Mhm.
but I really did not like her. And I thought, my God, the one that I would identify with is the one I can't stand.
Yep.
So I can imagine what it was like for people.
what does that say about your
I-
personal view of yourself?
well,
Let's dive deep here. Let's get
Let me
therapeutic.
make my point. It's like it gave me a perspective as like how like Black people or any kind of different race is portrayed in some of our, especially our early literature,
Yeah.
how it made them feel.
Yep.
And I thought that was just it's a good eye opener.
It is. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
And it really does make you think about how important representation is
Yeah.
because, all of these diverse people in this book are good people.
Yeah.
And they do good for others, even though they think they're not going to make it out.
Mhm.
And then Staten Island the whole time is just like, no, I don't care about any of you. Go away.
I just did not like her at all.
Girl. I got so mad at this book.
Oh,
Well,
just
her
FYI,
specifically.
N.K. Jemison she was born in Iowa, but she grew up in New York City.
Oh,
That makes sense.
So
that's pretty cool.
that's the reason why she knows a bit more about it. But yeah, no, I wasn't super surprised by the way that people acted in the book because, especially with social media and like everybody having camera phones now, you see this sort of stuff happening all the time. I mean, you got like those.
Like this is a very common thing that you see on social media.
Yes.
Yeah. The people yelling at
I'm not
people.
on
I mean,
social
they
medias,
do
I guess.
exactly what that lady did, where she just records and gets up in people's faces and acts
Calls the police.
affronted,
Yep.
trying to bait people into like doing
Here's my
something.
camera in your face, but you better get out of my face, even though I literally have my hand in your face.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. People.
I've seen a few of them like that, but not.
Mhm.
I just don't watch them.
Yeah, no,
because
it's
like, you're
pretty
an idiot,
common, and it is very frustrating. Or the same thing with like those, I don't remember what they're called, the alt art people or whatever the heck they're called.
Ugh. Yeah.
They were like,
Insane.
yeah. Well, actually, you just want to hit them. I mean,
they're basically like
Just
the
for the
Proud
In
Boys
my
type
opinion,
people,
it is acceptable to hit people
except
like that.
more wealthy.
and not do
That's what they
damage.
needed.
They really do.
Just smack them in the face. It's like smack back.
I don't
at
know
'em.
that there was a
don't
good-
think I would just settle for a smack, but
What do you think about the cops, how they were portrayed?
The what?
I thought.
The cops.
I was surprised with how generally positively they were portrayed.
Except maybe her dad.
Aside
Well,
from
yeah.
the dad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's on
Besides
Staten
him.
Island,
Yeah.
where,
Yeah.
again, apparently everybody's a
Staten
racist
Island doesn't
there.
count
I
in
don't
this
know.
book.
I don't know how much of her prejudice is sneaking in to that one, or if it's like legit. I
It may
liked
be a
his
little bit of
his
both.
idea. It was like you have your at-home words and you have your at-work words.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
really, I mean, there are people that think and do that. I mean,
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
I have everywhere words.
Yep.
So it gets me in trouble.
Very true.
I don't know how you could. I don't know how you could like have at home words and then be conscious enough to not say them.
I do it all the time.
I don't.
I've gotten
understand
better
that.
at it, and it's specifically only bleep words. Like, that's it. And
Some of those I
Yeah.
can do.
I-
but unless I'm really worked up about something.
yes, yeah, you can definitely tell if I'm upset about something, but I also don't say them out loud. I repeat them in my brain a lot, like bleep,
know.
bleep, 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 bleep.
I say them out loud, just at a lower tone.
I will, yeah, I will sometimes. Sometimes they'll slip out, and I'll be like, oops.
Or I'll message Mallory.
Yeah.
I type
Yep.
them out sometimes too.
That's also therapeutic, so it's nice. Yeah. But that's pretty much the only, especially here. I mean, we don't really talk about anything crazy in here. Well, this kind of crazy, I guess. I don't
Not
know.
this type of crazy.
but I mean, I don't know. There's not really stuff that we can't really talk about here that we want to talk about anyway. Like, we don't want to interact with patrons who speak like that. I mean, we have to sometimes, but it's just kind of like, okay, have a nice day.
Oh my God, that just made me think of something.
Oh,
A certain
Okay, now
patron
I'm
that I
worried.
haven't seen in a while.
uh-oh.
No,
Oh,
it's not bad.
Hmm.
He's one of those that talk like that.
yeah,
So like,
yeah.
I'm not mad that I haven't. I just
Haven't.
realized
Just
I
realized.
haven't.
Yeah. Were you going to say something, Carla?
I have no idea.
Oh,
It just went away.
Anyways, the idea of cops being positive for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
especially in New York, that struck me as odd.
Yeah, because you
I
see it
did-
in other forms of media a lot of the time,
Yeah.
like in movies and stuff. But I was surprised
me
that
think of,
it was like that in this book.
Yeah.
was it Manny or was it New York who went to the library and was sitting outside and they made eye contact?
I think that was New York.
It was.
It
at
was
the-
New
near the
York?
Because
beginning.
he ran after
Yeah,
that.
because I
Mhm.
think that was like I from then thought it was going to be bad for every encounter after that, and then it wasn't. So I was like, okay,
Yeah, no,
because that
New York was definitely scared in general of the
Yes.
cops, or like wary of them at least.
yeah,
And then
Well,
I think
mean-
that the view of a lot of the other ones were that the cops were fine; they were just kind of useless.
yeah,
I feel
You
like
know?
he has a right to feel that way, though,
yeah.
being
Oh yeah,
an
no,
unhoused person,
Yeah.
and also being black.
But didn't
And-
one of the cops have the white stuff in that interaction? Or am I
No, I think
making?
I
I
think
thought
he just-
I think
they
he
did.
thought the vibes were wrong with one
there
of
was
them.
like a whole
Yeah.
thing where he was like, "This isn't right."
yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
mean, some of the
Well,
cops
yeah, he
later on
turned into
definitely did
something,
have.
didn't it?
I thought so.
That's
he
fine.
turned into like
but-
a monster.
Yeah, there was a monster thing that was chasing
Okay,
him.
yeah, that's what I've read like 4 books since this, so I'm a little bit fuzzy now. But yeah, I thought all of the interactions were because I mean, I guess they were on patrol or whatever, but I just figured if one of them was, basically all of them would be, because their precincts and everything. I mean, when they go back to their offices or whatever you want to call those buildings, like they all are just with each other. And I kind of feel like
I choose to
that
believe
stuff is transmitted very quickly, because it
Yeah.
was, I mean, it spread like wildfire.
Yeah. I choose to believe that Brooklyn Nine-Nine was a legit thing in this book.
Andy Samberg.
I love that show so much.
Not today, tentacles.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
That would be funny.
That's the book we need.
Yep. All right, N.K.
Someone-
Jemison.
I was
Let's
going
get
to
on
say,
it.
someone email her.
Yep.
That's the book we need.
Yep.
Okay, so sort of back on the individual characters again. We should probably talk about how each of these people are introduced. Right?
Yeah.
Like how they came to be who they are.
Or just how they're introduced in the book. And like their first interactions with people, I guess, that or like with the weird stuff.
Isn't that how they came to be who they are?
Well,
Pretty much it was.
Sure, if that's what you wanna say.
Am I insane?
anyway.
Because you meet them as they
As they are
experience
experiencing the very
awakening.
first
Well, most
thing.
of them,
yeah.
most of them, yeah. I
Yeah.
think the only one you didn't is Brooklyn, right? Because she just is
Oh,
coming
yeah.
along
Yeah,
and
you didn't.
playing
yeah.
music.
Yeah. Strolled on the scene and
With her music.
yeah, kicked
Mhm.
butt.
I love her for that.
I liked her a lot, and I liked
Mhm.
Bronco a lot.
Yeah.
Bronco was good.
I liked Manny though. I mean,
Manny was good, yeah.
I had to
Honestly, they
read
were
the
all pretty
Indian
fun
name.
characters, to be
What
fair.
was her name again?
They're all very
Padmini?
unique.
Padmini. And I can see where you would like her because of the math.
I wish she was like I wish, like I said, I wish she would have done more. We'll get to her in a second, though.
I really,
Mhm.
I really wish that more would have happened with her. I liked her a lot. She was very sassy, but yeah.
Anyway, so I guess the first one was like obviously New York. We meet him. I think
Yeah.
he's the first one we meet, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
When he wakes up to the world and he's hanging out with Sao Paulo, who was another one of the big characters in this because he's the city of Sao Paulo. And he was the first one. He was the one who was there to help New York, but like, you know, get through all of his birthing pains or whatever, because he is the newest city to come alive, I guess. Which I think we find out later on happened in the 60s or something like that. I believe is when that one happened. Anyway,
I
though.
think so.
Yeah?
I think so, yeah.
I want to say that's what it said in the book. Anyway. But yeah, I think that, what was it? They met at a coffee shop that time. But, okay, am I right in remembering that Sao Paulo had been visiting for a while? Or did he
I think
just
so,
find him?
yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
felt like they had a relationship before that. Right?
Yeah, I
like
think they had
dude,
talked.
Sao Paulo would come and check in on him every now and then is what it seemed like.
Yeah. Make sure he had something to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the time when he
And then-
finally woke up.
Yeah.
Now, how did
So Sao
Hey,
Paulo's a
Paulo.
cool character. I liked him. He always
how did he know that he was going to be in New York?
I think that they somehow knew that New York was going to like awaken or whatever.
Gravity.
And
I was going to say,
yeah, it was
like
just
the
kind of like a
vibes?
pull or
Those- yeah.
something. Yeah, because there's no
They-
way to really tell who it's actually going to be, but you probably can feel a pull to people who are more likely to be.
Mhm.
And I think they recognized them after they actually saw them.
Mhm.
But there was that weight. They talked about the weight.
I was going to say, I know the others were like,
Uh-huh.
they felt it. So I didn't know if that was the same thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Overall, though, it seemed like it was what was I gonna say? I don't remember. I guess the next person is. Oh no! Wait.
It's
Actually, in the first part, I guess we're introduced to New York, and when he awakens, he is like basically immediately attacked by.
Oh yeah.
It's the lady in white, right?
Yeah.
Her, who is the main bad guy, the main antagonist of the book, and he like hardcore fights her, but he gets beat up a little bit too, and a bridge gets taken out because he can.
Mm-hmm.
He can control the city in some sort of way that he can do damage to her or whoever, I guess it would be in this case. But because he's awakened, but he doesn't have access to all the other boroughs, like he can control everything, but it takes a lot more out of him because not all of the other boroughs are with him yet. It takes all of his energy out, and he like disappears and ends up in a subway station and is just sleeping there for most of the book
Yeah.
because he's just
thought
like
that was-
wiped, effectively.
Yeah.
Well, he was still brand new too. I mean, he hadn't even had a chance to
Exactly. No, he just awakened
think-
and
Learn
this
his power.
happened almost immediately.
Yeah. And I think he was also like just the weakest because he wasn't well nourished.
Yeah.
Nutrished.
He wasn't nutrished at all. That's the new slang right there.
That's
Yo,
the
you
best.
nutrished?
Nutrished.
Nah, I haven't eaten today. Anyway, yeah, so that's his first thing.
Yeah.
His introduction, basically. I guess the next one would be Manny, and he's forgotten everything. He doesn't know who he is, and he's trying to figure stuff out. But his first vibe is that he gets is that he's in the city, doesn't remember who he is, but a cab pulls up, and it's like an old timey cab that is not actually a cab. This lady just drives it because she likes it, apparently.
Well, first I want to talk about how, he gets off of the subway or, train or whatever
Mhm.
and immediately just like faints or whatever.
passes
and
out.
he first like comes to people being around him, helping him. And he's kind of just not expecting that. And they're all just kind of like, oh, we're not all like, and that was his first like real experience with New Yorkers. And I think that was such a beautiful thing
Yeah.
that helped him like be like, I am meant to be here. I am meant to be like, a good person. And I thought that was a very important moment. I loved that.
Yeah, and he sort of embodies this idea that people come to, I guess New York in general, but Manhattan specifically, and it's just like they're an amalgam of a bunch of different places and things, and they have chosen to give up their old life and come to New York, and that's what he is embodying because he's never been there before. But
Yep. His literal first day as a New Yorker.
yep, he just got there,
Passes
pulled up,
out, man.
immediately faints, and is New York now.
Yep. So
Specifically
after all of
Manhattan.
this, then the cab pulls up and he feels like this. This is like one of the, what did they call it? Did they call it a checker? Or?
Maybe, but it was like worked for like a wedding company.
yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It is a checkered cab. It is a checkered cab. And
Yeah.
But I can't remember what they called
I
them.
think they did call him checkered.
Yeah,
Because he was like,
they
oh,
don't
we
make them
haven't
like
seen
that.
these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the old timey checker cab.
And the lady who's driving, it just so happens to be going the same direction he is, and he
Yeah.
pays her like $200 to take him to FDR Drive, I think is what it was.
Mhm.
And on the way there, there's this, it looks like there's a traffic jam or something like that, but actually there's a giant tentacle coming out of the road. And his whole thing is that he gets the lady who can also see it to drive him at it at speed. And he, when he first sees it, he knows he needs like a weapon. So he yoinks this umbrella out of the back
Is
of
another
a
woman
convertible, right?
in another car. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
she's
like,
like,
"Sure,
it's
you
my
can have it."
sister's, but I just like to hit people with it.
Yeah. So
It was a big
He gets
umbrella
that.
too.
That's
It
his
wasn't like
weapon.
he was jousting.
Oh god, that was so good. I loved that. What I would give to actually see that in real life. Like I would probably, you know what, you crazy, but you go.
also, yeah, actually, that was the thing. He first thought about doing like a jousting type pose, but ended up like opening
He was
it
like,
up
no.
Yeah.
and driving straight through it, and it like made a perfectly outlined thing of him sitting on top of this cat.
Yeah, that was
With
wild.
the umbrella.
With
That
the
was very
umbrella.
cartoonish.
Like a
You could
cartoon
see,
is
like,
what he
his
said.
head or whatever. I just
But
thought
that was pretty
so
fun.
funny. Yeah. It was crazy. Because he also noted that, like, as they were driving, they kind of set out road flares and everything so that people would go around, but he noticed that people were already doing that.
Yeah.
So, like, they
Yeah.
couldn't inherently see it, but they felt that something was wrong there, which I thought was pretty cool. And also was a testament to, like, how in tune New York is
Yeah.
with New York.
Also, this is a general vibe. Like when they need to get somewhere or do something, generally people will help them or aid them or
Mhm.
like get out of the way if they're driving or whatever. And they talk about
Yep.
that a little bit more later in the book.
Well, that's because New York
That's what?
is more aware.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, his intro is pretty fun. Then he ends up going to meet up with his new roommate, which he does figure out because there's like a note or something, right? He's got a note with the address on
An
it.
address
on
in
his phone?
I think it's in his phone, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes there next and meets up with his roommate. They go to a park. I don't remember what park it is.
It's
It's
not
the one-
central.
No, it's the one where they sold the island to the
Yeah.
whites.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's like I can't remember what the name of it was either.
Anyway, they go there. And that's where they first meet directly the woman in white, who is basically like being a Karen at that point.
Yeah.
And recording them saying that they're perverts and all this stuff because they're two men walking
It's-
and they're not white.
That was insane to
Yeah.
me. Like,
Yeah.
Well, but people
they
be
weren't
doing that
even
stuff.
holding hands. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. Something people do.
I just, oh man, I'll never understand it. Because, I mean, I know it happens. It doesn't make any sense to me. God.
I don't get it either. People just be wacky.
How unhinged do you have to be? I just like,
The scary part is there's people really like that.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
How have they lived?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I have no
Within
idea.
a bubble.
I mean, I don't know what it's like. A different reality. It's like an alternate universe.
Yeah.
They're just like slipping through every now and then.
Wild.
So they're there. We learn a little bit about this constructs idea, which is where you basically can use something like any sort of mundane object, but as long as it has the right vibe effectively, you can
Mhm.
use it to attack something. In this case, it's the woman in white, but in theory, I guess it could be used to attack anything, other cities, other people, or whatever. So in this case, they notice that the ground is starting to be carpeted in these like little wormy tendril things, right? And in order to, and what's that rock? There's some rock, right, that they stand on. I can't remember what it is. Is it some historical thing? I don't remember what it is. Anyway, they're standing on that, and the way that they start trying to destroy the little wormy things that are infecting everybody is by throwing money at it.
And it
Make
kind
it
of works.
rain.
Specifically, another one is stealing money to throw at it too. because that's also a very
Yep.
New
Oh, yeah,
Yorky,
because it
Yep.
was like
vibe.
symbolic of what
Yeah,
happened
symbolic.
to
Yep.
the natives.
like, because it's mugging. Yeah. And that sort of works. But what ends up working better is when it's Brooklyn, right? Comes in playing music loudly, right? And
singing along.
yeah, she was also singing along, and she was like basically pointing at it and started killing out all the things because again, this is a very New York thing. It's not even these construct ideas, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, the name of the park is Inwood Hill.
Okay.
Inwood Hill.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Inwood Hill, which is
A gigantic park
well, there you go.
in Manhattan.
I'm trying to see if it's got like a brief spiel of what the point is, like historically.
What the point is.
And I thought we already talked about that. It's where the trade was made. And the tree, the tulip tree that it was made under, is no longer there, and that's where the rock's at.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So the next person is, we make Bronca next? Or do we make Iceland next? I don't remember.
It's
Staten Island next.
Okay, so next is
I
Staten
thought
Island.
it was.
She's
Oh yeah, you do meet
thinking
her.
about
She just
going across the ferry, across the water on the ferry to get to the rest of the city because she feels like she's being pulled that way. But she's also starting to get very nervous about things because, again, xenophobic. She's going against the general path that people are trying to go right now because they're all trying to get back and then she's trying to get out. That's what she was saying.
And she's also been told that if she goes, the city will literally eat her alive.
Yeah, that's what her dad has said for like ever.
Yeah.
since she was tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see this sort of internalized prejudice against like everybody, right? And she thinks that like anybody who is not white is evil in some way.
Yep.
Or bad. Anyway, so she's getting ready to go there. She's starting to get a little scared, but she's going to get onto the thing until she is stopped by the woman in white who puts like a hand on her and finds out that she is another city person, right? So she is
I think
stopped
she knew it
effectively by
beforehand.
that. And ends up essentially chickening out and going home. Oh no, wait! But first, she gets scared and doesn't she like scratch somebody?
She
on
started
accident?
having a panic attack,
Yeah.
and somebody, specifically a black man, reached out and asked if she was okay and touched her, which sent her even farther into her spiral.
Yeah.
So then she scratched. I don't know if it was the same person or not.
I think she scratched him to get his hand off of her.
Maybe, yeah. And then she literally just started running away while people were asking if she was okay. And that was whenever the woman in white started running with her and saying, "Oh, everybody's trying to control a city," or I don't know. She says something weird like that. And Iceland is just like, "Huh?" And and then this woman touches her and she's like, "Well, she's white, so it's okay." I was like, I hate you already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she decides that she's not bad, even though she's foreign, because she
she's
must be
white.
from Canada.
Yeah, she must be from Canada. That's it.
Yeah.
And
And
here's
also
her name,
because
and
she's
she's
white,
like,
so white is
"It's
good.
Rosie." Also, right after this, her dad calls her. Now, okay, this lady. At first, I thought she was like 18 or something like that. She's 30, isn't she?
Yeah, 30. Yeah.
Yeah, she's 30, still living at home with her parents, which by itself is not like bad nowadays, But in this particular instance, it's pretty bad. But yeah, the dad calls her, and she's on the phone with him because he heard something on the police radio about a lady who had attacked
like
somebody
her.
at the ferry who looked like her.
Yep.
Because it was her. But that is how crazy the dad is. He apparently also has like tracking stuff on her car and all this whatever. He's just ridiculous.
He's a creep.
Very, very overbearing and just an awful person. Because he has his at-home words and his
Work
at-work words. And also he's complaining, at least in this phone call, about how he just hates all the immigrants because he pulled somebody over or something like that, or they were just sitting in their car. I can't remember exactly
They
what
were
it was.
sitting in their car.
Yeah.
And he arrested this person for no reason.
Yep. Just
Uh-huh.
because.
Just because.
It's that new age music.
Oh, yeah, that's what
right.
it was.
New
yeah.
age music. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what. And
You can't
that's
have
what set him
that.
off.
Mind altering stuff.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway,
Jeez
yeah.
Louise.
This very much gives you the vibe that something is awful there. And the next we got is then it's Bronca, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, somebody else want to
was-
describe what happens with Bronca? I feel like
Was
we've
it
been
when
talking
was
a lot.
Queens? Queens wasn't
Queens
the-
was after.
was
Yeah.
she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they come back to Bronca a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bronca, I could identify with her because she was old, and although I had don't have the past she had.
Yeah.
But
Dude, she was that story she told when she was a kid and she took out that dude.
I think that's hilarious. I mean, she's
Mhm.
always a strong, like,
Yeah.
no nonsense.
Didn't mess with her again.
But Native women have to be, or they get killed.
Yeah.
And even if they still are, I mean, they still do.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm. I guess
Terrible.
hers is a little bit difficult to describe. The main thing that happened with her is that she was told that she had to accept some art from these clearly awful people
Yeah.
who their whole vibe is they try to like do something offensive and then talk about it online about how they've been rejected for their offensive stuff, and they claim it's reverse racism.
Yeah.
I thought that was after
It is. That's
that was
later
after her
on.
awakening because
Yeah.
she
It
is
was
in the
kinda-
bathroom.
I think
Yeah, the lady in the
it happened
white
there.
showed up in the bathroom.
And then she went
Oh,
to the
that's right.
bathroom, and then they talk about it after.
Oh,
No, I thought
literally
her
just
bathroom
listened. I
thing was
listened
that
to this
she
yesterday,
Okay.
guys.
okay. Well, it all seemed like two separate things for me.
Because
So
the art was like they considered it like a portal because one of the other people noticed that there was something wrong.
oh, that's
yeah,
right.
I guess I
I
remembered.
thought that happened.
I remembered
that happened
her
afterwards.
thinking
the bathroom
it was
thing
an
happened
attack,
first. I think that.
but because she had awakened already. Okay.
Yeah, she was just arguing in the bathroom with one of the other people because they didn't put her on a research grant.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
she
And
was,
then
she was,
when
yeah.
the lady left, the person she was arguing with, she heard somebody else in the bathroom, and it was the lady
Yeah.
in white, and she
Yeah.
Yeah.
kicks in the door and kicks her out, basically.
And then the younger girl that also knows something with the paintings was also like, that last stall, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she came back
Yeah.
later and was like, "That's something wrong with that stall." So
What's
yeah,
her name?
Vanessa.
There's a V. Vanessa, yeah.
Vanessa.
Vanessa, that's
right?
right, Vanessa. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she lives in Jersey.
Yep.
Jersey City.
Jersey City, baby.
Yeah. So that's actually her awakening point is that. And then the
Mhm,
stuff with
yeah.
the
Yeah.
painting happens later, which we'll talk about
Yeah.
next time
Yeah.
because it's very interesting. I really like that part.
It is. Yeah.
All right, so that was her awakening. And then the last one is Pavardi. It's Pavardi, right? Queens.
No.
I thought it was Padmini.
Padmini.
Padmini, that's it.
Okay.
I'm thinking of Pavardi
see,
from
we're
like
not
Harry
used to these
Potter.
names, is what it is.
Well, I also we had said it earlier, and then I said it again, and then he said something else, and I was like,
Wait a minute.
"Oh no, did I say it wrong the whole time?"
No, it's Padmini. You're right.
Okay.
100%. I'm just like being racist
I liked
apparently.
her awakening.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Her last name is Prakash. Padmini Prakash. Anyway, she's Queens. She's, like I said, mathematics graduate student. She's doing something for finance, though, so that she can stay in Queens. And, this is a thing that lots of foreigners, especially like Indian people, have to deal with, where they have to have some sort of job so that they can get sponsored to stay in the U.S. Like,
Yeah.
a bunch of people who work for Microsoft are like this. And it's apparently something that weighs on their minds a lot. Which makes sense, because they want to get kicked out. They had to be sponsored all the time. Anyway, her whole thing is, when she's awakened, is that there are kids next door to her
Who
out in the
says it like
backyard
that?
who are playing in a pool, and they're going to get, let's say it, they're going to get slurped by the pool.
Oh my gosh.
They're gonna. Anyway, but her whole thing is that she notices this, and she calculates things to use her abilities. So she thinks about the first thing she does is she thinks about the fastest way to get to the pool, it would be a straight line path through the wall effectively. And she calculates out this jump. And then the city's like, oh, that's what you want to do. And then she jumps through the walls and stuff and goes down to the ground. And then her second thing is she thinks about the viscosity of the water to pull the kids out of the water because it's something is grabbing them in there.
Yeah.
Well, the first one she gets out and he fights her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like kicks her.
Well, you know what? That's how you know you got a New York kid.
Absolutely not.
But I would have thought at least he would have recognized her. But no, it's like,
I think he was just scared. He's just scared.
It may have been.
Kids keep doing that.
Somebody grabs her.
Okay, so
I mean, she wasn't there, and then all of a sudden she was there grabbing him.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be terrifying.
Yeah,
it's because she would have just appeared there to them.
Yeah.
In the book, do they just write out the equations?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, because they said it in the audiobook. It does not come across well in the audiobook, but I was like, I know those equations. It's kind of fun.
I still envisioned it. You know that meme of like the woman with all the equations around her?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought too.
I was like, man, it must be really cool to be able to do that in your brain because like I'm just totally making it up what it looks like. But
yeah, I just... It's not my first go-to
really
personally, even when I was doing lots of math and stuff.
Well, you're also okay with math. I am not. So I don't know what any of that means or sounds like or looks like. So it's just...
My point is
that's what my brain does to make it make sense. Yeah.
I don't go through the equations usually when I'm just like thinking about a thing. You just do the thing.
Well.
If I have to calculate something, then I'm doing the math. But yeah. I just thought it was funny. Nothing too complicated in there, but I thought it was funny.
No. I also thought it was really cool, and I did think it was very funny because all of them had their different things, and hers was math. And I was like, man, that's wild.
I like that hers was math.
How can you like math that much?
She apparently loved math.
I like math.
This is the thing. Mathematicians be loving math, whereas others of us, like physicists, we don't love math. We like the physics part, but the math part kind of sucks.
I don't mind math. I don't love it, but it makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
I don't get it.
You guys just haven't done enough math.
I'm just.
I am happy that way. I'm totally fine. Totally fine.
That looks like it'll fit.
It's like
yesterday.
Dude, I don't know how you did that. We literally brought out this shelf, and I was like, "That's not gonna fit." She's like, "I still have to move it like 6 inches this way." And I was like, okay. And she moved it, and it slid right in. I don't know how she does it. My brain don't work that way.
All right. Anyway. So I think that's going to be the end of part 1. We talked about the intro and all this stuff. And, I guess, do we have an outro type thing?
Yeah.
For this? Go ahead.
All right. So our next couple of episodes, we're doing part 2 of our book chat, or our deep dive here. We're doing part 2 of our deep dive. Then we're going to have guest author J.D. Byrne, and we'll be discussing his book, More Hollow. Then we're going to do a Curiosities from Zach and Carla. And Ariel's nonfiction, which will be Melania. All right. We'll see you next time. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. It's time for us to sign off, but before we go, only the best libraries have librarians who don't shush you.